Just as a reminder, you can visit us at thepandapod.com. That's thepandapod.com to grab our RSS feed, listen directly, and share PandaPod with your family and friends. You can also reach us directly via email through podcast at thepandapod.com. Thanks for listening.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Panda Pod. I am your host Jeff, here with our other co-host Jacob.
Hey.
Jackie.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Jackie.
Hi.
And Justin.
What up, fam?
And today we're going to revisit a past topic, kind of. Those who are familiar with the lore of the Panda Pod will know that before all of this started, the idea kind of started with a tarot reading that I did for Justin. And then after that, we had an episode where we did a little tarot reading for the pod. And we're going to do it again for the 2024 season 2 time frame.
Yeah, I got good feels for this year. So
I do too. 2024. I feel like 2024 is a weird transition year. It's one of several leading up to 2027 for me, which is an important year. I don't really know why. I just feel like something big is going to happen in 2027, but I feel like things are going to progressively get better between now and then. And
let's hope they don't get worse. Because
I think from the year 2016 on up until last year, at least for me, every single year was progressively worse. Yeah. I remember 2016 thinking, wow, there's just no way that 2017 will be worse than this. Wait, and I remember thinking that every single year until 2022, at which point in time I was like, yeah, it's just going to keep getting worse. I'm not even going to try and pretend.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Something really wonderful happened in 2016.
Yeah? What was that?
Yeah. I met my husband.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's great.
Was that bad for you?
No, that was really good for me. But Trump got elected in 2016.
Was that year?
That was that year. And that it was just a banner moment, at least in my life, of bad shit starting to occur.
I think 2016 was also Brexit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It happened right before Trump.
Yeah. A lot of weird shit going on.
Oh, yeah. 2016 sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, I was actually talking to my boss about this today, about how the speed at which things change usually accelerates by a tiny bit each year. Just as an experience, right?
Yeah.
But since 2014, things had sped up a little bit, which isn't usually isn't really a big deal. It's just, just some extra things that we have to deal with as a society and things we need to move through. And then the pandemic happened, and that was all right, let's speed everything up by 10x. And so when Jeff talks about this being a kind of a turn, transformational, kind of different type of year, I think that's accurate, because so far nothing bananas has happened other than the continual escalations in war. Other than that, nothing has crazily happened that we haven't already kind of adjusted to.
You mean you're talking about just in 2024?
Yeah, just in 2024.
I mean, it's February 5th, my dude.
Yeah.
Hey, we can cling on to hope. There's a song about that, isn't there?
And it's February 5th, and there's no threat of a looming virus in the air.
That's true.
That's nice.
Some crazy things have happened so far this year.
Like what? What's happened so far?
Okay. You ready for how much I've regressed?
Sure. Okay.
We've been watching wrestling a little bit again lately.
Okay.
Like professional wrestling?
Yeah, like WWE.
Okay.
Because it's
Yeah.
comfortable. Like the storylines never really change, the writing never really changes. You feel like you never stop watching, and you feel like you don't have to pay a lot of attention to it,
Sure.
which is really nice. But Vince McMahon has been very strongly accused of sexual misconduct. So that's one thing. But also, The Rock is coming back to wrestling. And I feel like if something weird's going to happen so far in January of 2024, I would accept The Rock coming back to pro wrestling, which means
Okay.
that he's desperate and so are they. They need money bad.
It doesn't surprise me that he's going back to wrestling.
Yeah, I'm like, I have opinions about it.
If he's done doing movies, like, why not? And he's kind of done doing movies.
He is, yeah. And there was a lot of crazy weather in California in January as well, and a big cold snap. So, not as big in the scale of the last 7 years of shit that we've been dealing with, but craziness has happened a little bit this year, and I'm really glad that it's not here where I live.
I should have pointed out that a lot of what I was talking about has to do with my own subjective reality and not so much the world.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like, your subjective reality is your world. So
I mean, that is true. What I'm saying is, since 2016, life ain't been great for Jeff. But in 2023, like, things kind of turned around. And I think 2024 is going to be a continuation of that. So
I agree.
Yeah, I personally feel like 2016, I think I had just like a huge, I don't know, like I had like I was put on notice of how bad things were politically and what have you, right? And for me, that became like I felt like things were going bad for me, like I was depressed about the state of the world and such, right? But it really, like, when I look back, I feel like I've not had that. My subjective reality, I feel like it's been not that bad since then.
right
Things
on.
have been getting better, it feels like to me.
That's good. I mean, it is seasons for everyone.
Let's all just throw it in Jeff's face real quick that we're all doing great. And
I'm
Well,
doing
Jeff
good
seems like he's
now.
doing quite good
I
now.
never
Yeah,
said
I'm
I was
doing
doing
great
good now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying something good happened that year. The rest of it, it doesn't even feel like time has passed. It's just like this big glob of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
you want to blow your mind?
Let's hear it.
I guess.
COVID was 4 years ago.
What
was
was?
4 years ago?
COVID,
Yeah.
It's true.
4 years
That's
ago.
true.
Does it feel like 4 years? Sometimes. Other times, does it really not feel like 4 years?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, well, Jeff and I brought this up on one of our previous episodes, but how I've become a lot more fearful since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 4 years and I'm still like, ugh, I don't want people to be close to me at the grocery store. Not because I don't like them, but because I don't like them and I don't want to get sick. And even today I woke up after a week of not feeling super great and I took a COVID test. Because I'm like, well, I guess I have been in other people's space. And if I'm going to go to the doctor, I better make sure I'm not going to give anybody my cooties. So 4 years, but it's still
affecting us for sure. Not as much, thankfully.
Yeah.
We took a round of COVID test here about a week ago, so we weren't feeling great.
All good in the hood.
All good in the hood.
Good.
Yeah, which is shocking. Like, it was right after we went to the Tool concert. A lot of people there, obviously.
Oh yeah, how was that?
And it was so good. Like, incredible. Tool still has it. Like, the last time I saw them was 2001 during the Lateralis tour, and they're still just as good. Like 23 years later. Incredible.
Damn.
Yeah. One of the coolest laser shows I've ever seen. And like, they have just like the best like projected artwork, and like they're really powerful to listen to. They're great. It was really, really good. Like 2 just solid hours of incredible music.
How does it work with like, did they have a singer on stage who sings?
Yeah, Maynard James Keenan. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, it like I guess he sings in the songs, but it's just kind of like I feel like it's so rhythmic that it almost seems odd that they'd have a singer on stage in a way. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's cool. The way they do it is they have like a second stage kind of set up like on risers behind the drummer, and so it's the guitarist and bassist and drummer up front, and then Maynard just kind of walks around in the background
Makes
as he's
sense.
singing. And like most of the lights are on the musicians, and not so much like of the focus is on Maynard, which is really
Right.
cool. Yeah, I love their stuff. Like they're fun, like they're goofy. Tool's pretty goofy. Um, yeah, I liked it a lot. It's really good.
I need some Perfect Circle in my life.
Yeah, I think there's a new album maybe coming out soon.
Oh, that'd
So
be awesome.
Great.
yeah. Okay, well, let's do this reading, eh?
Sure.
What I was thinking I'd do today is a Celtic Cross, which is like a pretty traditional 10-card spread. And the way it'll start is I'm going to pull a card, and that's going to represent basically the podcast. You know, we'll have to determine what the card means as far as the podcast goes, but the idea is that the central focus is going to be how do we continue to produce a good podcast and grow our audience, and then everything that builds up from there is going to be kind of explaining, you know, what we should be doing. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. So I'm just going to shuffle a bit. I almost started with the Chariot because I was shuffling earlier and it kept popping out. We'll see if it comes up again. That's my like numerology card. Like everybody's got a tarot card that represents them numerologically. And I've been thinking about that card a lot lately. So I was like, it keeps popping out. Maybe we'll do that. But I wanted to get a good clean shuffle before we started pulling. So
Fair enough.
all right. So the card that represents the podcast in this is going to be the Lovers.
Okay.
Marry me, Jeffrey
That's
Williams.
interesting.
Yeah. So let's I'm gonna go ahead and just read what this particular deck says about the Lovers, okay? So the card in the upright position, and I'm gonna be reading all of these upright, stands for union and equality and a positive collaboration of goals. The card says the marriage of Shiva and Parvati meant the joining of the heavens and the earth, one completing the other. Trust in one another lends unity and confidence to deal with difficulties. The strength of the pair is stronger than the individual. Swans and peacocks are the beautiful messengers of dreams about all that you can be with no limits. Look beyond the horizon. Plan long term for a future built for the two, based on the ideas and dreams of the two. So, I mean, if we expand that open,
Yeah, to four
from
people.
2 to 4, yeah, it sounds like it's saying that, hey, y'all need to collaborate and work together and make decisions together, which is something we've been talking about a lot lately.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is the goal there. What do you guys think about that?
I mean,
think it
that makes
checks out.
sense to me. It makes
Yeah.
sense that you pull that first.
How do you feel about that, Wiggs?
Yeah, I think that's really great. And that's like a founding principle.
Of the pod, yeah, for sure.
When we were originally kind of doing this, the entire idea was I couldn't do it by myself.
Right.
I needed others. And this just reinforces for, the next year that we need to continue working together. And that's what's going to make things great. So
That's right.
I think that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Ultimately, the original tarot reading did say that that you should engage in some kind, like you were basically asking like what should you do creatively, and one of the themes that came up was that you should do something with others, right?
Yeah.
And specifically something with his voice.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Which is why we were leaning towards the podcast idea. So this is going to be the challenge in this situation, or sorry, the goal in this situation is to work together towards unity and strength in the podcast. The next card I'm going to pull is going to represent the like hurdle that we need to get beyond in order to like reach this goal. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I'm
One
ready.
of, I'm sure, many, but in this reading, it is going to be the Two of Pentacles. Okay, I'll show you guys this card. This card has a picture of a bird resting on top of a grenade. Actually, two birds resting on top of a
Oh,
grenade,
damn.
and one of the birds has the pin pulled in its mouth.
Hey, Jackie, we got to
Fuck,
get
man.
along better.
Yeah, I know. I was just like,
I
I
think-
know which one I am.
So let me pull up the Two of Pentacles here, and we'll talk about what this means. So the Two of Pentacles is the card of balance. Oftentimes, like in the original Rider-Waite deck, it's got a guy holding two coins, and it looks like he's kind of juggling them in the air. So yeah, the upright, this card stands for balance. It says life will always be uncertain, but harmony can be found. The sparrows represent simplicity, but they perch atop the bones of others who have failed. Pull the pin and see what the future holds. So in this particular deck, I like to call this the fuck around and find out card. Because of the whole grenade pin thing. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like the challenge we're going to have in reaching the goal of working together on this is finding balance between all of our opinions and needs and desires for this thing. Yeah, so the rest of the cards really are going to be focusing on this challenge and how we can overcome it going forward.
Okay.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean,
Well, it seems like that's pretty. I mean, not in a bad way. That seems like an obvious conclusion, right? Like,
Sure.
that is a challenge to working together. That's very common.
Yeah, I stand by my original comment. I think we know some things that we can work on already. I actually was talking to my wife about this just the other day about how to make sure that there's a balance in decision making and things that we need to do. And I've actually already got some ideas around that. So it's very timely that that would come up when I've actually already started thinking about how to fix that problem.
and the first things first, cut the girl.
Yeah,
No.
get her out of here.
No, no.
I think just for transparency, because I'm a big fan of transparency. Whenever you go into a creative venture with friends, or you, in my case, jump into a creative venture that your friends already have established, personalities are very different. And if anyone that knows us know that Wiggy and I are very alike. We're both very opinionated and stubborn and very passionate about what we do. And so our way of checking each other is kind of being quite harsh to each other. I'm a very harsh person. And I'm not really good at sugarcoating anything. So when you go into situations like these and you're like trying to like grow any kind of venture that you're doing with your friends, whether in my case, most of the time it's like written role-playing games with my friends on the internet or a podcast with three of your good friends, it's like, okay, what is the balance between what we want to do and what is reasonable? And that can be really hard to not piss all of your friends off.
And I'll say that I'm very straightforward and I try to be as honest as possible. But if you try to give me feedback, you better give me a bowl of ice cream while you're doing it. Like that's just how I work. I'm a very sensitive person deep
Yes.
down inside.
As am I.
So yeah, so that's where this comes across.
So basically, those cards are us.
Yeah, it's us. We know.
You
Yeah.
two
It's
are
pretty
sitting on the
obvious.
grenade.
Yeah.
I will say that Jackie is the one that's pulling it, though.
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah, well,
Yeah, but if you notice, the other one is sitting there looking at it like, "Oh yeah, you think so?"
I dare you.
yeah,
It's
I
like,
think that's about right.
Fucking do it. Yeah, fucking pull the pin. For me, the thing that comes up with balance is like work-life balance. Not that there's a whole lot of actual work that goes into this, but I think delegation is going to be key going forward. Like leaning into each other's strengths for particular tasks. Like I am not great at the Canva stuff, the advertising stuff. So Jackie, I'd really want to like get you caught up on what I do with those and have you take that over at some point.
Okay.
Especially the like social media stuff, because I like, first of all, I don't have a phone that works right now, but second, like I'm just not good at it. You know, we need somebody who's more familiar with the social media stuff doing the social media stuff.
It's funny because I hate social media, but I do know how to work it.
Right. But you know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it for like a third party account, and I have some experience with this with like the Hot Alien Summer Camp account and stuff like that, feels different than when you're interacting with social media on your own account, you know?
Definitely.
Because
Yeah.
you're representing like something as opposed to yourself. And that, I don't know, that makes a difference.
Well, you're not allowed to be rude to some degree too. I mean, that helps.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless that's our brand. We could be rude on social media.
That'd be
Let's go
amazing.
roast Wendy's a bit. That'll be fun. Okay, so the next card I'm going to pull is going to be the thing we need to focus on as far as resolving this balance issue we have. Okay?
Okay.
So, and that is going to be the Seven of Pentacles. Now, this card has a woman sitting in front of it looks like maybe a vanity or a mirror or at least an archway of some kind, with a bird on her shoulder, and she's also carrying a large key. So let's take a look at the meaning in this book for the Seven of Pentacles. This is the card of vision and reward. And again, remember, this is the thing we need to focus on. It says you're enjoying a restful time surrounded by blooming prosperity. The vestments of the sparrow keep you in balance with the natural world. Your goals have benefited both you and the environment you share with others. The large key is a weighty trophy of your accomplishments. So intuitively from that, I'm picking up that what we need to focus on is like our strengths and successes so far. A big one for me when I think about that is the fact that we've recorded so many episodes now and gotten them out like on a fairly good time schedule. I feel like that's impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the fact that we had a little bit of a difficult time restarting season 2.
Yeah.
And I think us being able to jump through that hurdle and work through it and actually start is the key. Is really kind of that linchpin where that we could have failed then,
Sure.
just by virtue of being whatever
Right.
about it. So,
but we didn't. And we started it up, and here we are recording. This is the 4th episode we've recorded already for season 2.
yeah, I
Yep.
think so.
Yeah.
That's pretty
This is
good.
the longest I've committed to something in a while.
Yeah. Feels good to commit to something, doesn't it?
Yeah, not too many things, but like 1 or 2 things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little commitments that you actually care about are nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this? On the idea that what we need to be focusing on is the visions and rewards. It could also be that we should focus on, the rewards part is popping into my head. The idea that maybe we should focus on what are some tiny goals in the future that we know we can accomplish that will feel good.
For the pod.
Yeah, for the pod. Little things we can do for the pod that will feel good and give us a little boost. How can we give us those little dopamine hits that we need to keep feeling good in this process?
I would really... This is silly.
No, say it.
Well, so the other day I recorded that like little thing of me talking and sent it to you guys. Like, I think that we should be doing stuff like this. And I think that when we put things out on social media, when we use clips, like I would really love there to be engagement. I would really, if you're listening, I would really love engagement. Please let it, like, I want people to talk to us and tell us what they want to hear. So that's a big goal for me, is like getting more feedback this year.
Right.
I think that's a great goal. I feel like getting some people on our Discord and active on it, like getting some people that are interested in participating on it, I think that would be a great thing.
Yes.
I know that would give me a big like confidence boost to see people in here interacting, and even if they're not actively talking about the pod, just
Okay,
being
yeah,
a
you
member
don't
of the community.
you don't have to come talk about the podcast. Please, like, just come show me pictures of your dogs and cats or
Yeah, we got
kids.
pretty good memes.
We do.
We have fantastic memes. We are. I don't want to toot our own horn here, but we're definitely purveyors of top tier memes.
Well, we're blessed with the meme king supreme Rab.
Yes.
Who, like, if you like absurdism, you're gonna love Robert over here.
Yes, right now, honestly, the PandaPod Discord is where I post my most deranged and unhinged memes because I know that only these three are going to see them. But if there are more
It could
people
be
in
you.
there, I don't think I would
Yeah.
stop.
You listener, you could be seeing these unhinged memes.
I will say it's also my favorite and least favorite thing at the same time. Like, I think that's important.
What do you mean, like Rab's memes in particular?
Rab's memes in particular are fantastic in a way that can't really be explained other than saying that they're absurd. Which that in itself drives me nuts because I'm very literal. But he's also produced the best memes.
Yeah.
So you have to allow a little bit of the crazy in order to get to the gold.
Well, you say produced. A lot of it's mostly curated, but I mean, I do still make OC too, and I post it in the admin chat because it's literally just for you guys. But I mean, if there were listeners on there, then maybe it'd be for them too.
I will give this accolade. I was told the other day by someone that is on a server that I'm on, a mutual server, that they are afraid of the memes that Rab posts because some of them in the AI channel have given them nightmares.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
so I reposted it because it was funny. So yeah, if you want, like, just coming out with us, we're obviously friends because we think we're funny, and we think the others are funny.
Yeah.
So if you think we're 1% funny here, this is edited.
Right.
We're
much funnier unedited.
Yes, we are.
But we're also unfunny sometimes.
So
because those parts get edited out.
So something I want to say about this card. I think there's two things that kind of stick out to me. One was the rewards thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I recently bought a poster for my office as kind of like a man, this is a thing now, right? Mm-hmm. Like it is a constant reminder and like a feel good about the podcast. And I feel like that's a little reward. And I feel like that's also something, or those types of things are things that we can do.
Okay, so the King of Wands, the thing we're leaving behind, or not necessarily leaving behind, but the energy that we're moving from. Okay. And that is vision and honor. The King of Wands stands for a natural leader. You stand tall with confidence. With higher perception, you have the natural ability to thread together the voices of others into a positive direction that benefit all. That's dope. That's all there is to that. But, I mean, for me, with a higher perception, you have the natural ability to thread together the voices of others into a positive direction that benefit all. I mean, to me, that's saying season 1 was a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
That season 1 was well received, which I think it was. Like, the people that we have heard from have had good things to say about the first season.
They've come back to season 2. So that should be the main indicator that we took a 2-month break and we have the same amount of recurring subscribers as we did when we ended season 1.
That's great.
So not to override you.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear it.
But like King of Wands is also, it's not a card that's always focused on creativity. From what I can remember, it's like it like represents a person that can take an idea and implement it himself. And I think that is really telling because like the three of you built that. Like I'm here now, but I wasn't the whole time. And I want to take this moment to like kind of like hype you guys up before we move on. Like the three of you took this idea and built it into something that people listen to every week. And I think that's really great. And I think that card is like a way of saying, hey, sick job. Keep it up. Um, that's all. That's what I
I
got.
like
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
I like that
well,
interpretation.
and also if we're going into like a balance, right, and collective decision making, it does make sense that we're kind of leaving, a strong leader behind.
Right.
Yeah, I was just about to say that I think this is transformational, right? Like there was a lot of coordination between us during the season 1.
Mhm.
But I did have a stress that I
Sure.
felt like, okay, I've got to make a decision here. I've got to make one here. I've got to make one here. But I don't think that was bad because the last reading that we did, especially for me, was that was something I needed to do at the time.
Right. Right.
Right.
So, but I don't feel like I have to do that anymore. And
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big key there.
Well, the original meaning of the word dictator, like in Roman times, like that was an emergency position that they hired because things were going wrong. But you can also imagine, like, if you're trying to get something started, you kind of do need one person to just be like, okay, blah, 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 like get everything
Right.
figured out because otherwise it's too annoying. Nobody wants to be the one to make the first move.
Right. And Justin, you did a great job of that, man.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
did a really good job picking like the software we'd use, the sites we're going to use, organizing how we're disseminating all of the episodes out via rss.com. You did a really great job with that, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of research and a lot of work, but it's paying off. So
Yeah, I would
it's
say you
worth
had
it.
some really big King of Wands energy last year.
Like
for
I said,
sure.
that's what they call me on the streets. So
Hey, fair enough. Fair
God,
enough.
I hope someone asks you about that in person.
you
King of
too.
Wands.
I implore you.
All
Oh,
right.
damn it.
So this next card, sorry, I already saw it, by the way. It's the sun. This next card represents our strength in this situation. And so what we should lean on in this situation. And let me go ahead and read what the sun means. I'll go ahead and describe it, which I didn't do for the King of Wands. By the way, the King of Wands has it looks like a woman laying on the ground with a bird perched on a flower that's kind of growing right behind her head. It's a weird looking card. This is a cool deck though. It's called Hush Tarot. Maybe we'll find some way of posting a picture of this somewhere where people can see it once we're done.
I'm definitely a lady, and I have a cat named Sparrow.
That is
So
true. That is true. Okay, so this next card, the sun, it's got a picture of a sun with an eyeball in it, and it looks like a crow underneath it holding a ribbon. Pretty cool card. And this card stands for success and growth. It says, "You have worked your way through the dark times. The raven is looked upon as a dark presence. The sun rises and the light reveals the iridescent colors of its sleek feathers. Look to the light to keep striding forward as your path continues." I think that sums up our strength in this situation is that we've worked hard, we've put in the effort, we're gonna keep doing that. And
growth being our focus.
right. So I mean this just seems like an all-around great card. Keep an eye on the positive, even if things look bad, try and find the glimmer in those dark wings, if you will. But yeah, it's kind of the card of like the star is the card of hope, but this is the card of like, yeah, of just success. So that's seems like a good sign to me. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, no disagreements. I mean, I think it seems like a natural in this kind of story we're telling here. That's it seems like a natural next step, right? After putting like leaving the things behind and what have you. The success comes.
Yeah, and I've talked about it a little bit with us on the podcast, but year 2 is generally a big growth year for podcasts, and a year that has to be spent focused on growth. And I think, and we've all talked about and had things that we want to grow, right? We want to grow our engagement, and we want to grow, our our connection that we have with followers, and we want to grow the listener base, and growth is just the theme, I think, of this year, and I think that just captures it.
I would like us to get so big that I get to talk to Matt Mercer.
Oh yeah, that's a fun goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
that's
pretty
what
sure you could pay to talk to Matt Mercer.
I'm not paying
So
money.
just saying, you could.
Look, I've already talked to one of my like entertainment heroes, so I feel like I can do anything now. But I think, growth is good, and I think that also this has been something that's kind of helped me get through the shitty winter months. So the fact that it's the sun is fitting. Like the days are getting longer, our energy is being renewed, and we're getting more things to look forward to. And I think that that's a really good sign for what's to come.
Speaking of what's to come, the next card, which is the final card in the cross itself, stands for the immediate future, like things we can expect in the immediate future. Okay.
Okay.
And that is going to be the Ace of Wands, which is like a pretty dope card in that spot, I have to say. So the Ace of Wands in this situation has a woman lying on her side, eyes open. It's just a shot of like the side of her head, and nested on her head, like a bird is building a nest on her head, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what that means in the book here.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah, do you? Is that you?
Yeah. There's definitely a bird building a nest on my head.
Yeah.
We should change our names on the Discord. I'll be King of Wands, you'll be Ace of Wands.
That sounds great, because then nobody, including me, will remember who we are.
Oh God.
Okay, so the Ace of Wands is inspiration, hard work, and joy. And again, this is going to be the immediate future. Though small, the house sparrow is known for its productivity. It is always busy collecting food and nesting. Survival is a constant job. This card is a reminder that it takes a lot of work to get what you want. The threaded needle is a starting point. It's tiny, and it takes a few tries to get it started. Cultivate your goals and see them flower. Right on.
Cool. That's pretty straightforward.
This
More
is
work.
a really straightforward reading, I have to say. My spirit guide is just like, all right, let's just get this over with. You know what's happening here. Right
Well,
on.
Can you read like the ideas again? Hard work and what?
Yeah,
Hard work was the stuff
inspiration, hard work, and joy.
Okay, inspiration, hard work, and joy. Yeah, I don't know why hard work stuck with me, but
Mhm.
yeah, it is hard work to put together some of the history episodes. I mean, I worked harder on the last episode than any other ones I did.
Yeah. I put a lot of time throughout the week, usually looking into my favorite topics, obviously. But I mean, that is research for what we're doing here. You know, even when I'm just dicking around and looking up UFOs and aliens or spiritual shit, like I am like taking notes on things I want to talk about in the podcast. So
And that's how we get inspiration.
yeah. Right on. So in the immediate future, we've got inspiration, hard work, and joy. Sounds fun. I'm down for a little bit of hard work. I don't mind putting in some time with you guys. I really enjoy sitting down and just talking with you guys about the stuff we talk about. Like even stuff I know nothing about, like the history episodes. Like I feel first of all impressed with how much you guys know.
Yeah.
Every
right.
single time we sit down and talk about stuff, I'm like, wow, my friends are like super smart.
Not smart, we're just really dorky. Like we love history. And like that's just what it is. It's one of those passions. Like everybody has a passion that somebody else they know knows nothing about. And that's just kind of how it is. You know, we did talk about maybe changing the names of these episodes to teach Jeff history, and then we can do part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So if we want to do that, that's something we could do.
Right on. Okay, well, let's look at the next card. There's going to be 4 cards that I'm going to line up over here, and we'll just go through them in kind of rapid fire so we don't spend too much time on this. But the first card is going to be the advice card, and that's going to be the Page of Wands. The next card is going to be the environment card, and that is the 4 of Wands. We are getting a lot of wands here.
Yeah.
The card after that is going to be like hopes and dreams, or sometimes like fears in the situation. And that's going to be the 4 of Cups. And then the final card is going to be like ultimate outcome, like potential ultimate outcome if we either do or do not follow what the guides here have said. Okay, and that card, yeah, again, is the 4 of Pentacles. All right, so let's talk about these real quick. We'll start with the advice card. This kind of general advice in this situation is going to be the Page of Wands. I really love this card. Let me just describe it real quick for the viewers. It's got looks like a child standing in like a junkyard, and you can see that the child has built this like what are those called?
Catapult?
No, it's
It's
like
a little hard for me to see.
it's a what's the Minotaur? She's built a Minotaur out of junk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looks like she built a catapult to put her new in.
No, she's built this like automaton Minotaur. So let's look at what that means in this deck. The Page of Wands is imagination, exploration, spontaneity, and path of change. It says freedom and creativity flourish. Make the most out of what you find around you. Create a world of your own from the pieces you find. The young girl populates her world with creatures she's built of random parts, taking what she values and bringing them to life. That seems like good advice as far as like leaning on the things that spark, the imagination and exploration within us. Like not getting too rigid and making the most out of what we have available.
Can you read the overall ideas again?
Yeah, imagination, exploration, spontaneity, and path of change.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Sounds like
What
the
do you
advice
feel
is basically take the advice.
Right.
Reading to heart.
No, I feel like that card's talking right to me right now, and I don't like it.
Okay. Well, what do you feel like it's saying to you?
Like, it's saying to me that I need to get my head out of my ass and stop making excuses for not doing things that I feel like I should be doing creatively. Like, it has nothing to do with the pod, but like, I've been going through a funk lately where like any of my world building that I'm doing for my writing is just not coming through. It's there in my head, but I just, for the life of me, I'm like, put it on paper. Ha, I'd rather eat my foot. So, when you're involved in a situation like this, like, I told you guys I was in a slump. And that's basically saying, fuck your slump. You have work to do. Go do it. Don't waste yourself. Don't do that. So,
I just want to say I agree with that intuition that you feel there. Like, if that card is saying that to you, I'd say take that to heart.
Yeah.
Take
And
it.
I know you said not about the podcast, but I mean, like, I think maybe the answer, I mean, this is a reading about the podcast after all. Like, maybe the answer is to like find a way to combine those things somewhat, like almost like Wiggy did.
Yeah, I think what it's really saying, and I mean what I'm getting from this is we need to stick to our individual strengths to one, keep things fresh, two, keep things interesting, and three, because we all like different things, we're really going to bring a lot of variety to the table. And I think leaning into those things is really what it's trying to say. Like, lean into your individuality and bring that to the table.
The spontaneity bit stuck out to me too. The idea that sometimes I'll have an idea for the pod and I'll overthink it and end up not sharing it because I've talked myself out of it.
Yep.
I think I need to be a little more open to the idea of sharing those things in the moment and seeing if they spark any like feelings in you guys like they do me, instead of talking myself out of sharing those ideas.
Yeah, I mean that kind of self-censoring can kill us.
Yeah,
It really can.
Yeah, that is something we've talked about, you and I, in the past.
Yep.
Is not self-censoring so much.
Yeah, yeah, it's difficult. Um, it's difficult on a couple different layers, um, and so it's really something you have to keep top of mind. I mean, a balance is important, but that doesn't mean that if the sacrifice is too big, then it it, it probably should happen. Um, but I'm just going into my head now, so we can move on.
Don't overthink it.
All right, so the next card is going to be the environment card. That was the Four of Wands. This has got like a picture of 4 spears and like a bouquet of flowers kind of tucked into the front of the 4 spears. And this is the card of celebration and accomplishments. In traditional tarot, this is kind of the card of like weddings or celebrations. And it says celebration of accomplishments is the general theme of the card. It says, "This is a time for celebration and remembering all those who have helped along the way. The way has not always been smooth, but you have handled all the thorns and now reap the beauty." And I think that's true. And something that really pops out to me is the idea of like celebrating and remembering those who have helped us. We had talked previously about maybe trying to do like a one shot like role playing session with some of our previous guests. I want to revisit that because Bianca reached out to me recently and she was like, "Hey, I was really looking forward to that D&D thing. Are you guys still planning on doing that?" And I was like, "Well, we kind of just totally forgot about that." But maybe that would be good to do just as a way of celebrating the few guests we had last year that really gave us a little bump in numbers and bump in confidence. I know the talk, particularly with Tim, was kind of a confidence booster for me.
Yeah.
Like talking to him, he was just so like confident and into what he was doing and having so much success that I found that really inspiring.
I think it's a great idea. What did you say this card was trying to tell us again?
This is the card of this is for the environment, what you should be surrounding yourself in.
Okay.
So surrounding ourselves in that feeling, that energy of celebration, and like remembering those who helped us out along the way.
Sure. Well, I mean, it also, I mean, even if we can't put the D&D thing together, we could always consider repeat guests too. I mean, we have been doing some repeats. I'm sure some guests have updates to share though.
Yeah,
Maybe we
actually,
could,
I
maybe
just
we could,
recorded a new episode for interviewing aliens with Bianca. Should come out sometime in either late February or early March. And she's got a lot to say. We could definitely have her on again. That woman is incredible. She does so much.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wanted to have her on just to talk about like philosophy, like
Mhm.
not even what she's doing.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting. You guys are going to groan at me, maybe, but like, I thought it might be fun to bring one of our family members on.
Oh
No, I'm
yeah.
not going to groan at that at all. And I was thinking about that along the lines of this card as well, because of the whole like remembering those who've helped you out along the way. I think it'd be really fun to. I would like to have my Uncle Chuck on here just to kind of
Oh my
tell his life
God.
story and I don't
Oh,
know,
Uncle
just give his
Chuck.
advice to the world.
I would like to get my brother on here.
Yeah. Yeah, your brother's a cool dude.
He is. Your Uncle Chuck is funny.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And I know we've all talked about having our significant others on for episodes. Ellie has been on an episode already, but I think it'd be a lot of fun just to set all of our significant others down in front of the mics and have us step away and just let them record an hour
Yeah, that'd
talking
be
to each
fun.
other.
I will try my best.
Andy will do it. He'll
My
do it.
antisocial English partner.
Yeah, but you gotta get somebody on there. I mean, because it was just gonna be pure estrogen, the way we were gonna do it.
True.
With the 3, I guess, wives and fiancés.
That's true. I don't want to be there for that. No
Andy's
offense.
got to balance it out somewhat.
But I think that's where you're wrong, though. Like, because Andy's not particularly masculine, so
Yeah, that's
it
true, I
might
guess.
backfire. um, family members, or like people that do important work in our communities might be cool too. Like the whole giving back doesn't have to mean just giving back to us. That's something that I've been thinking about for a while. Like I do a lot of work with the animal shelter, and there's a person that goes above and beyond for the animals in the area. And I think that that would be really cool, getting advocates like that on to just talk about their lives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would love that.
So just ideas, man. I don't know.
This is kind of what that one card was mentioning. Like, this is all fresh, new things that are coming from our individual likes, obsessions, what have you. And so this is very healthy.
Yeah, we
I
should
like
be
it.
incorporating all that. I agree.
I'm gonna ask my grandma. That's it. Nailed it. Done.
We should get a Ouija board and have somebody dead on.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We could have Pete on again and just have him channel some dead people for us.
Oh, I thought you were about to tell me that he was dead.
No, no, Pete's very much alive. He just talks to dead people. That's all.
We're gonna
Right,
have
right,
Pete on
right.
from the other side.
Okay, the next card is hopes and dreams, or like fears and concerns, and this is definitely a fears and concerns kind of card. It's the Four of Cups, which is the card of apathy and doubt.
Is this our first cup for this reading?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
We've
that
had
makes sense.
so many wands. We've had
We
nothing
have.
but pentacles and wands until now.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing that they're all upright.
Well,
Well,
I'm
Jeff-
I'm only drawing upright today.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
feel
what
like
I'm
reading
saying.
reversals. Yeah.
Like, we're very lucky.
Yeah. Okay, so the fear and or doubt or whatever we might have in this situation is of becoming apathetic or doubting ourselves. It says this card indicates that you're seeing the world as a dried up husk with its dulls and browns. Unmotivated by the current situation, you need to look deep within yourself to find understanding and meaning. I think that's just something we got to keep ourselves in check on all the time.
I think, and feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but I think we all suffer from a little bit of that, some more than
Sure.
others.
Sure.
And
Suffer
so,
from what exactly?
apathy.
Yeah, of,
Oh,
of
yeah.
just general apathy towards everything. I know for me sometimes,
Yeah.
Well,
that's just a
I mean,
symptom of depression.
yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of times I am very apathetic about this. And no offense. I mean, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I do feel a lot of times like, especially when we've been a long time without doing it, or we're taking a break, or there's difficulties getting everybody together. Like that makes me feel like, why try? Almost.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
fair.
Like over the break, I definitely had a few days of going, I just don't feel like recording anything anymore. Like I just don't feel like I have anything left to say. But for me, the thing that really switched that around was my trip to Orlando and being back with, that group of people and feeling that energy and feeling inspired again. And I think that has to do with all of this down here, all these other cards that we pulled, the idea that we need to surround ourselves by that like celebration and friendship and all of that, and just keep that apathy, keep
Save
an eye
your
on it.
apathy for some other shit, okay?
Well, and if you're feeling apathetic, say something.
Yeah.
Like help us get you hyped up about it again, because I'm really excited for this podcast stuff. I don't know how I could turn this into a career, but if I could sit down and talk to people and record it for a living, I can't think of anything I'd rather do.
I would love
Like
it so much.
I love doing this stuff. If I could turn this into a career somehow, that'd be great.
That's kind of my secondary goal,
Yeah.
Like, I don't like talking that much. It's a very unfortunate side effect of ADHD. If I talk a lot, eventually I feel like I'm just repeating the same words over and over, and sometimes my brain goes faster than my mouth, and I slur and I stutter and I slurp my way through a conversation. It's not always the most natural thing for me. But
Every conversation I have with anybody ever.
it's really frustrating. I feel like I'm like, do I have Alzheimer's at 38?
Yo,
No.
I've thought that a few times.
Dude, it's scary, right? But it's just me being, I'm not focusing hard enough at what I'm doing. And that's, it takes a second to sit back and go, okay, just chill out, just hang out. But as it turns out, I actually really do love this. I really do love talking to you guys. And I think that that's kind of the dream, right? For like a lot of people are like, I want to go to art school. I want to be an actor. I want to be a musician. People love creating. We all want to leave a mark on this world. Because when we were young, we were told that if we try really, really hard, we can be an astronaut or president or whatever bullshit our parents told us. And I'm sorry, Mom. But I think, we grew up with that mentality, and we're all very established in our lives, and that's wonderful. But I think that we all have that common ground of we love creating, and it's even more meaningful for us when we get to share it with people who are listening. So I guess this is my really sappy way of saying thank you for your ears.
Indeed.
Because it makes us feel fulfilled, like we're doing something good.
Agreed. And you know what? Sometimes when I am feeling, apathetic or doubting, I'll go through and read comments from people that have commented on our stuff, like that note that Casey sent the other day.
Oh yeah,
that meant so much. Like just getting that random note for him saying, "Hey, listen to the new episode. It sounded great." What a treat, that was so nice. Yeah. Shout out to Casey. I love you, buddy. I can't wait to see you again here soon.
Can Casey come on?
Yeah, he was on the very last episode of last season, but yeah, he can be on again for sure.
I guess I missed one. Well, Casey, you can come on and talk to me anytime you like, or you could join our Discord server, which
he could. I'm sure he'd be happy to.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, the last card here, we are running a little low on time here, so let's keep going.
Okay.
The last card is going to be the potential outcome, and this is a great card for potential outcome. It is the Four of Pentacles. It's got a crow, or maybe a raven, standing amongst some wildflowers, and perched on top like skeletal ribs. Okay, I know that doesn't sound great, but this is the Four of Pentacles, the card of stability and control. It says, through your hard work, you've gained great wealth. Now you stand guard over all that you've created, watching it as it grows fruitfully. What a cool potential outcome, eh? I love that.
They certainly did not leave this reading up to interpretation. I mean, I guess if we spent a lot more time thinking about it, we might have run out of time. It's like it perfectly filled the amount of time we had to go through it, and it barely needed it. It spoke for itself, really.
It did, yeah, and that's not always the case. That's really nice that the spirits decide to come through and be very clear and concise with us.
we appreciate your promptness in this matter. Like, I'm saying this to the spirits, not to y'all. Y'all don't get anything.
It's been very straightforward. But like we've said before, and we all respect straightforwardness. So it gave us the information in the way that we were best to take it.
Pretty solid reading, glowing predictions for the future, and I'm really excited to see where all of this goes, and I'm excited to do it with all of you listeners out there. So thank you for joining us as we've talked through this reading. Please hop on our Discord and let us know what you thought about it. If you want a reading, I offered this last time as well. Anybody who joins the Discord and asks, I'll be glad to pull a Celtic Cross for them as well, and sit down and talk to you about it too. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
And you can find a link to the Discord on thepandapod.com, right?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you're looking to just message one of us on Discord because you can't find the link, my Discord handle is Golden Retrievers, plural. So if you need a link, you can just message me and I can get you hooked up.
Right on. My username is awake__.
Perfect.
Mine's COBRABB.
Like corn on the cob, Reb.
Yep. Correct.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, and we will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.